everyone. I'm happy to be here with you today. My name is Radzikowska, and for me, this is pretty new experience, so I'm happy that I can share it with you, and I'm glad to be here. I would like to tell you the story about Kanban spirit and the implementation of the Kanban spirit. Previously, this presentation had a lot of slides with numbers, graphs, and infographics, but I decided to remove them all because probably during these 2 days you will see a lot of them. Instead for that, I will tell you the story because, as you know, we Kanban people and Kanban trainers tell a lot of stories. So maybe let's start with a very, very short story of who I am. As I said, my name is Anya and I'm the storyteller. And not only by hobby and by what I'm doing on a daily basis, but also by my education. And I finished the Faculty of History at the Jagiellonian University in beautiful city of Krakow, which is already a very old city with a lot of stories. And as a Kanban enthusiast, I need to be a storyteller. And as a Kanban enthusiast, I also need to be a people devotee. Because even if Kanban is very focused on the process, in the center of Kanban are people, and this is how I see it, and this is how I tend to tell people about Kanban. If you really do Kanban, you need to love people, otherwise it simply doesn't work. And I believe that people are the most incredible creatures in all over the world. And today I would like to tell you the story about the people I met and the story of who we became. At the beginning, there was a group of people who barely knew each other. We have been told that we have a project to deliver, we have a product to build, that we have 1.5 years for it, and we've been told good luck. So actually, we didn't know where to start, but we knew that we'll have to stay strong together. And at the beginning, when we sat and we had to decide what method we'll choose, we thought that Kanban will be the best choice for us. First of all, because we wanted to focus on the flow of the process rather than time boxing. Then some of the team members already had some experience with Kanban, and also our organizational culture were better fit for the Kanban methods. So we have started, and the first month was a honeymoon for us. We did a very, very basic Kanban implementation, so the Kanban board, basic WIB limits, policies, we set the feedback loops and cadences. And during this first month, we tried to find what will be the most difficult for us. And when we talked about it, we thought that probably the team, because in that shape we have never worked before, and requirements from the business, the same as the requirements from the system side, were pretty clear for us at that moment. And during this first month of work, everything went pretty smoothly, and we were ready to deliver the first results of our work. Unfortunately, it was the moment when the first punctuation points arrived. So when we were ready for delivery, we realized that actually there is a lot of blockers which stop us from doing our work. We've been told that infrastructure is not ready, we've been told that system is not ready, and we simply cannot deliver what we did. And in the story of the team, it was one of the most difficult moments because after a very fast start, we had to stop and we need to think what we would like to do next. And the most important at the moment was keeping the level of motivation and the level of focus that was required to following what we have started. We couldn't simply sit and say that right now we stop working and until you remove our blockers, we do not do anything. We had to keep working, but on the other hand, we had to stay motivated. And there was one of the meetings of our team, which was a very important moment for me and for the whole team. During this meeting, one of the team members told something like this: Ania, to nie my, which means in English, Ania, it wasn't our fault. But actually what I heard that moment was Ania, to nie my, which means Ania, we are drowning. And when I realized that, it touched me very deeply and it stayed with me for a very long time. And after that meeting, we met together the next time and we decided that finally we need to do something about the situation. And for us, it was our Kanban spirit lesson number 1. So what we decided, that we'll implement few rules that will all focus on the psychological safety of the team. I like to quote Josh Karibsky in this moment, who says that safety is both a basic human need and a key to unlocking high performance. And we as a team decided that we'll introduce 3 rules. Rule number 1 is that you can try. So no matter what happens, no matter how hard it is, you have a right to try and you have a right to make mistake. Rule number 2, you can change. No words and no actions are written in stone. If you decide something, you have the right to change your opinion, you have the right to change your mind, and you have the right to change yourself. Rule number 3, it's okay to fail. Even if we treat fail as the acronym as the first attempt in learning, it meant for us that we really have right to fail, and again, it's okay to make mistake until we take the lesson from these mistakes. Having these rules, we could move forward. One day, one of the developers came to me and he brought me this picture. And this picture not only touched me very deeply, but also he made me smile. And this picture stayed with us until the end of the project, and it was with us on our Kanban board. It made us realize that we should live not only our life at home, but we should also live fully our life at work and make this life happy and make this life safe. The changes I mentioned, the changes to our Kanban system, were related to strict definition of what we are responsible for and what depends on us. So we started with defining the beginning and the end of the Kanban system we are responsible for. We started with defining where is the moment when the item comes to our workflow and where starts the first unbounded queue and when actually all of the blockers start. This way, we told our stakeholders what really depends on the team and what is the part of the process that we cannot be responsible for. It helped the team to keep focus on the work they do and also keep the level of motivation because they saw what they can influence and what they cannot. What we have learned during these 3 months of frozen delivery was that our team can stay strong, can stay focused, and can stay motivated, even that we are not able to deliver the results of our work. What we also learned about the business was that our first assumption was incorrect. We don't know requirements and we don't know business as well as we thought we knew. So we also decided that except for the rules that are related to our team only, we need to also introduce some additional rules related to the cooperation and collaboration with business. But we also learned a lot about Kanban itself. First of all, and it was our lesson number 2, Kanban is human. Kanban is human. This is the sentence that I read for the first time in Mike Barrow's book, Kanban from the Inside, and it stays with me and it resonates very strongly with me. As I said at the beginning, although the Kanban focuses on the process, it has a human being as a basis. And altogether with human being, also the respect. So what we started to do, except for doing some changes into the practices and the way we are doing our work, we also focused on the values that Kanban provides to our life. First of all, the transparency. We agreed that we are fully transparent in our team, sometimes probably even over-transparent. Our daily Kanban meetings happens every morning on the open floor with 50 or 60 people listening to us. So there was even sometimes too much transparency, but we were okay with this. There were no chit chats in the kitchen. There was no hiding secrets within the team. Everything, what happened, bad or good, was clearly stated by the team members. With transparency came collaboration and cooperation. So we knew that we have to stay together, and we knew that we have to cooperate very closely to achieve the results we wanted to achieve. There was no place for individual heroes. There was a team and team members who wanted to achieve the common goal. The next one was the agreement. And agreement meant for us that everyone in the team has the right, but also the obligation to be part of taking decisions within the team, decisions about the team, and also the process. And finally, the respect as the basis of everything we did, respect that comes from inside, but also comes from our actions. So Kanban is human. It was the sentence that stayed with us until the end. And we realized then that we are more than a team, more than just a group of individuals. We realized that we share the same values and we share the same principles. For me personally, there was still one thing which I was missing, and it was principle saying that we need to observe the acts of leadership at every level. That moment, I wasn't yet sure how can I know that these acts of leadership really happen and when I will see the signs of the acts of leadership in my team. But the leadership isn't something that I can impose to the team members. The leadership is something that needs to grow within the team members. And it can, or sometimes it cannot happen. So I had to stay patient and observe the team. Each storm ends finally, and the same with us. The work finally started to flow. And I'm not sure how many times you are able to see the group of 9 people really happy that they can come to work on Saturday. They can sit at work on Saturday, and people happy that they can finally deliver the results of their hard work. And what happened at the moment when we removed the blockers and when the work started to flow was the huge relief. And this relief within the team members was really tangible. And with the relief that we felt came some additional benefits, some of them not so obvious and we didn't expect them. First of all, we unlocked the first feedback loop. And the first feedback loop with the business, of course. This was something that happened when the business, as our client, started to see the results of the work and they could finally also test the results of our work. And they could see how it affects their life. We also then realized that this is the moment when we need to tighten the cooperation with the business. The feedback that we started to receive really sped up our learning, because so far the learning was limited to our internal group and was limited to the system that we worked in. Now we received a lot of feedback coming into the system, but also the feedback resulted from the work that we delivered. It helped us a lot in improving our work, and it helped us a lot in improving our Kanban system. We also could see improved metrics because, again, the metrics that we gathered so far were focused only on the system within which we work. Right now, we could start gather the metrics for the system end-to-end, so from the idea until the delivery. Altogether with these metrics, we could see that we have additional work item types like work enhancement and defects, unfortunately, and we could start to measure separately lead time for all of these work item types. We also finally saw a huge improvement in our delivery and in our work. Our lead time, for example, decreased in 3 months from 150 days to 67. Our throughput increased from 0 to 70 items per delivery. So it was, again, a huge motivation boost for the team. And the last but not least, we decreased the waste. As I mentioned to you before, we had a huge amount of work piling up before the delivery, which we couldn't release. And for me as a project manager and product owner at the time, this was the work that I had to manage. This was the work that I had to report and I had to remember about. Also for the team, it was this invisible burden because what we were afraid the most was the fact that this work waiting for release may one day become obsolete and no one will need it anymore. So we removed all of this waste related to this invisible inventory. And as I mentioned, it was a moment almost after 4 months in the project that we had to revisit our cooperation with business. And people from business were really open to it. And together with them, we organized a group of advisors and advocates. Advisors on one hand, because it was a group of around 20 representatives of business people who were the experts in the work and who could advise us not only if we do our work properly and if the requirements we gather are proper, but also they helped us a lot in terms of prioritization. Because when we suggested to them that maybe this is the next item we should pick up, sometimes we receive the feedback, okay, this is really nice, but we will see the results of this work only in 3 or 4 months. If you do this one for us, we'll see the results immediately. So this way, we were able to really deliver valuable items to the business, and the work that they see was effective. They were also our advocates because sometimes the cooperation between IT and business is pretty difficult. And these people who could work with us and who could sit with us and talk about problems not only from the business side but also from the developer side understood each other's better. And when they came to their teams, they could be the advocates of our project. Also for us as a project team, it was very beneficial because we could leave our project shell. So far we have been closed within this shell and we tend to don't see the world outside. Having people from business on board helped us to evolve and grow together with them. And finally, for me, lesson number 3 came one day. Because, as I told you, I wonder for a long time, is act of leadership at every level even possible? For me, it was one of the most difficult, it is one of the most difficult Kanban principles. And as mentioned, I didn't know how can I be sure that it happened. But it happened one day. We've been sitting on our daily meeting, and I usually sat very close to the Kanban board. We've been discussing one of the work items, and developers told that they have finished work on this item. So what I did, I picked up the post-it and I moved it to the testing column. And everyone looked at me like, Anna, but what the hell are you doing? And I said, but you said you have finished the work on this item. Yes, but we didn't tell you that we started testing on it. And I said, okay, of course, you are right. I moved it quickly to the development done, not testing in progress. And for me, it was like aha moment. And I was very, very happy inside. And then I told them, of course, because I realized that taking care for the smallest item on the board and taking care for the smallest piece of work, they really takes the ownership of work they deliver and take the leadership because they are not afraid to challenge anyone, even in front of 60 other people listening to it. And when I thought about it, I realized that for me, the leadership consists of 3 elements: responsibility, integrity, and mentioned ownership. Responsibility not only for themselves, but responsibility for the whole team, for communication, for relation within the team, but also outside the team, with the business, with clients. Responsibility for the process and for the product that we deliver. Then integrity of words and actions, which means that we do what we said and we say what we want to do. And we are integral internally, but also externally. And finally, the ownership, feeling owner for the process and feeling owner of the product. So not only product owner should take the ownership for the product. The ownership should be a part of each team member, and it should grow in every single person. So responsibility, integrity, and ownership are for me the elements of this leadership approach and the visual signs of what I can call the acts of leadership at every level. What's next for me and for the team? The project is over and the team has already spread out. We do not work together on the same project anymore. Of course, we are friends and we meet after work, having fun and enjoy the company. But we don't have the opportunity to sit every day in front of our Kanban board and discuss the work that we deliver. But I truly believe that this Kanban seat, which was built out of the values, out of the principles and the rules that we made together as a team, will be taken to the world and can grow into the huge ivy wherever they are. Thank you very much.